Okay, how to make pizza. So, first thing you want to do is preheat the oven for at least an hour, preferably longer, as high as it'll go, which normally is 550 on most ovens. If you have a broil feature, use that. Now, as you can see, it's still afternoon. It'll be dark by the time we get the oven preheated. So, this is a pizza stone. Other things that you will need are a pizza pan, a peel, which is the wooden paddle, and of course the pizza slicer. Now, normally I would use lovingly home-prepared dough, but let's cheat and use store-bought stuff from Trader Joe's. This is a whole wheat dough. It's a little harder to work with than dough made from white flour. Ah, it's dark outside, so the oven is probably preheated. Let's get started. So first we take the paddle and flour it, and get the flour off our hands here. As you can see, I'm a little older and fatter than I was. So, I usually use about half the dough. And again, this dough is not that easy to work with, so it's not going to be a perfectly shaped pizza, but you'll get a good idea of what it's like to work with this stuff. So, first I form the dough into a round. And I like to get it as round as possible at the start because I get better results later on that way. Then I dig a trough around the edge like this. This is something that I saw a guy do at a pizza store. Kind of form the outer rim of the crust and pat down the center. So then you can sort of throw it onto your fist to stretch out the middle a little bit. It's tricky to get it evenly stretched out so it's nice and thin throughout. You can also stretch it between your two fists. And you can always put it down and pat it out, stretch the edge a bit. Now this wheat dough, I noticed was kind of young when I bought it, and so it's not as supple as it will be later. And we may get a few holes here as we stretch it out. Yeah, there we go, a gigantic hole. So that's no problem. Just fix that. You don't want to have any holes in the crust when you put the toppings on because unfortunately it'll cause the crust to stick to the peel and then you'll never get it off the peel into the oven. So I'm just going to stretch it out a little bit more here. I think that's about as much as we can do. Now you can also drape it over the edges of the peel like this and just let it sit for a few minutes. You can see we're developing another hole or two here, but we can fix those in a moment. Okay, that's good enough. Let's get this thing on the road. Fix the hole. Oh, another hole. Darn it. Okay, that should be reasonably good. As you can see, we're not ending up with a completely round pizza. But that's all right. Fix a hole here, fix a hole there. Okay. Whoops, come on. As you can see, there's a lot of work involved in just getting this right. Okay, so now we do the toppings. This is the part where you think like a miserly pizza shop owner. And you don't want to put on too much because you don't want a soggy crust. You can really be pretty sparing with the sauce. This is sauce from a can. Although I have my own thoughts on homemade sauce, this was the solution that I chose just to make it possible to get this video shot very quickly. So we have a little bit of sauce. And you'll see that it's really a very light coating of sauce. Kind of a terrible looking pizza actually, but It will be delicious, I promise you. So let's add some cheese. I'm not going to put anything on besides cheese at this point. While you're learning to make pizza, or at least my experience was learning to make pizza, that just sauce and cheese is a very good way to um, really understand what your results are. You can cover up a bad pizza with toppings. Okay, now it's very important when you pick up the peel and shake it that the pizza can slide around, because you have to be able to slide it off onto the stone like that, see? So through the magic of video, the pizza is now done. And it's a small pizza, so I have developed this way of slicing it to get big slices, which is that you start the way you normally would by cutting all the way through, but then you cut a wedge that intersects that line at the opposite edge, and then you just sort of continue making zigzag shapes, and you end up with these big slices, so it looks like real pizzeria pizza. And there you go. That's how to make pizza. At least the best I can do it.